Good morning, everyone. This is Lieutenant Evan Pounds. Today I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the Army Combat Fitness Test. I'll be demoing all of the exercises and potentialities for this test in this video. First, what you see is that I'm demonstrating the preparation drill. The purpose I'm doing that is because as of this date, in July, the preparation drill as it last stood is still going to be how the ACFT begins. There's going to be a 90-minute clock that the ACFT runs, and it begins with the preparation drill, and then it moves on to 10 minutes of warming up before the 3-rep deadlift event. So although this is considered the warm-up period for the 3-rep deadlift, you should really take this time to do a general mobility warm-up that you see me doing here, because in the future, when the test gets started, it's not going to be like the ACFT where you'll have 10 minutes before or after the push-ups or sit-ups. As soon as the deadlift is over, you are going to take the person who lifted the least amount of weight. They're going to be slotted first, and the person who lifted the most is going to be slotted last. But aside from that, the test is just going to run in sequence with no breaks except for after the leg tuck event. So it should be done fairly quickly. And here you see me executing the first 3 reps of a warm-up for the deadlift. You see me also clamping the barbell. So even though it's a warm-up, when the testers provide you clamps, you have to make sure that you clamp the barbell. You'll notice my back is flat, my legs push off the floor, and I fully extend so that my hips open all the way and my feet stay flat-footed the entire time. I'm going to complete 3 reps of 3 sets, not including the bar here, for my warm-up, building up to my first attempt during this 10-minute period. Again, I'm going to add the clip, and I'm going to execute 3 repetitions here. I'm going to stand up, and then I'm going to lower it softly so it's not going to slam on the ground, but you do have to make contact with the ground for the rep to count. And this is my last warm-up attempt, and I'm only going to do 1 because it's at the weight of my first warm-up, which is optional. You do not have to attempt it for a single, but I decided to. So this is my first and only attempt at the 3-rep max deadlift. Notice how the bar is kind of losing balance. That's normal as long as you keep it within reason, and I'm not slamming the bar back down on the ground. So that's the deadlift event. The next is a standing power throw, which you'll need a 10-pound medicine ball for. I'm going to set a line, the fault line, and you'll notice my hands, they're at the sides, but it's permissible for the hands to be below the ball to get a little bit more backward trajectory. So the thrower is going to position him or herself in front of the fault line. It does not matter where, but wherever they're positioned, they cannot, once they throw the ball, move their feet behind the white line. You'll see I'll have these dynamic starts here, which is allowed for the movement. You can do as many down and upward motions as you'd like before the throw. And that would be my first practice throw. So the standing power throw is permissible 1 practice throw, and then you get 2 attempts. So this will be my first attempt. And my foot went behind the line, so that would have been a fault. And I have 1 more attempt left here. Now I did jump, but I jumped forward, so it's permissible, and that would have counted as my attempt. The next event is going to be the hand release push-up. My hands are near touching my chest. They need to be within the shoulder. Here my hands are outside, that's not allowed. Hands need to be within the shoulder. Feet can be close, but they can't be wider than a boot width apart, so I need to position my feet in a way that they're close enough. Then I'm going to raise my body off the ground in 1 singular motion, so my feet, legs, hips, and arms are in line. I'm going to lift my hands up, extend out into a T, bring them back in, place my hands down, push up again, and repeat. Now, what you don't want to see is an individual peeling themselves up off the ground like so, then peeling themselves back down and not fully extending the arms like so. These are examples of non-repetitions and that would not count during the test, which you have 2 minutes for. Again, the order at which people or soldiers are going to go through this event is based on how soldiers finish in the deadlift. So here is the sprint drag carry. This begins with a soldier's head behind, not at or in front of the fault line that we use for the standing power throw. So the soldier is going to, on the command go, get up, they're going to run 25 meters forward and then back. Then they're going to grab this notional sled here, and they're in a backwards motion, drag it to the 25-meter line and back. Then they're going to position in one direction on both trips for the side shuffle here. Hands are going to be up, feet are not going to cross one another. Once both feet pass the line, you're going to set up the kettlebells in a manner that you want to have them. Usually this is established before the event begins, but you can adjust them later. Then you're going to walk to the other end and back. And then the last part of the sprint drag carry is the sprint there and back, and that timed event is the sprint drag carry. Next is the leg tuck. So I'm going to position my body in a mixed grip where I am parallel with the bar, meaning my head is facing the same direction the bar is going. I'm going to flex my arms and my legs once I stop swinging, with my knees touching my elbows, so both knees touch both elbows, and then back down. Both knees touch both elbows, back down. Both knees touch both elbows, and back down. And you don't have to hold it there, it just has to be a tap for your grader to count. Here are examples of what not to do. If you are perpendicular with the bar, meaning my head is facing away, that does not count. If my grip is wider than a grader's fist length, these reps do not count. If my arms remain bent the whole time and I'm just kind of doing this pumping motion here, that does not count. If I do not make contact from knees to elbows, these do not count. The last event is the 2-mile run, which remains unchanged from how the APFT's 2-mile run was performed. The main difference is being the scoring, where there will be a lot more chance for passing in the low end, but it'll be a lot more difficult to max out in the high end. Do note that runners typically see a 20% decline in performance from the 2-mile run after having done the sprint drag carry. This concludes my brief, and thank you for your time.